People often perceive narcissists as strong, fiercely independent, and untouchable individuals. They project attractiveness, usually appeal their way into people's lives, and give the impression of self-sufficiency. Their demand for respect, authority, and attention can make them seem to be perfect, as though they live just on their own energy. Underneath the surface of this self-centered arrogance, though, many people ignore a hidden weakness. Narcissists want you considerably more than they let on. Their own identity is actually dependent on others' constant approval, attention, and emotions. Without them, their carefully put on front begins to fall apart dead on the surface. Narcissists seem successful, bragging about their achievements and wanting attention. Driven by an unquestionable sense of superiority, one might easily believe they are totally self-sufficient. Their conceit can cause others to believe they stand alone and celebrate their solo brilliance. They don't need anyone. However, this belief remains somewhat grounded in reality. Actually, narcissists use others' emotional energy as fuel to maintain their brittle egos. So they are quite dependent on it. That a narcissist's vulnerability is mostly their excessive demand for outside validation. Even if they might exude confidence, it is usually surface level and driven by insecurity. Benevolent behavior belies a deep sense of inadequacy, a worry of not being charitable enough, and a nagging anxiety that, absent continuous validation from others around them, will fade into oblivion. You can help narcissists stave off their fears by guiding others toward the kind of admiration they so desperately need. Despite their external sense of freedom, narcissists are really quite dependent on other people for their emotional survival. Your assistance, even your criticism, keeps them alive. They suffer to keep the image they've so painstakingly created without it. Their vulnerability stems from this reliance. The minute you cut yourself out of their orbit, you jeopardize their ability to maintain the appearance of superiority they so desperately cling to. A narcissist's main concern is losing significance in your eyes, so they go to such enormous lengths to make sure they stay the main focus of your attention. How does this dynamic manifest itself in interactions with narcissists? The explanation lies in the often poisonous, controlling activities that define these exchanges. Narcissists are skilled at making you feel as though they are the center of your world. They also make sure you stay tightly entwined in theirs. Early on, they could shower you with compliments, flattery, and affection, forging a close relationship that makes you indispensable to them. The purpose of this initial appeal is to captivate you and ensure your loyalty. But over time, the relationship changes and the narcissist's actual character starts to show. Once a narcissist has you tightly under control, they sometimes grow demanding, critical, and emotionally detached. They may use gaslighting to make you doubt your reality while keeping you looking for their approval. Keeping you off balance helps the narcissist maintain control over the relationship and ensures that your attention is always on them. Push and pull is a cycle. They provide just enough to keep you hooked, but never enough to completely meet your emotional demands. While narcissists never admit their need, the more you offer, the more they need. Although narcissists seem to be emotionally disconnected, their underlying need for control and appreciation reveals their actual dependency on others. They like to project their fears onto others around them, avoiding introspection and instead fearing vulnerability. The narcissist's sense of self-worth is naturally erratic, changing depending on other people's responses. They are thus frequently extremely sensitive to criticism. Any perceived insult threatens to destroy the story of superiority they have created in their brains. At these moments, the narcissist reveals their concealed weakness most clearly. Their facade crumbles, revealing the vulnerability they have been trying to conceal. Many times, Narcissists' continual need for approval drives them to act destructively. They might look for several sources of inspiration, riding through connections to guarantee a consistent flow of attention. One individual moves on to the next, always in quest of someone who can offer the respect they so yearn for when one person no longer meets their wants. The narcissist consumes the emotional energy of others like a leech, never truly returning. Their deep-seated fear of being irrelevant, useless, or worse, forgotten, keeps them from forming genuine, mutual connections. Nevertheless, narcissists sometimes overlook the extent of their dependence, even if they have an almost ravenous demand for attention. They persuade themselves that they are self-reliant and that their relationships reflect only their natural brilliance. Actually, though, their relationships are a lifeline, the very thing that preserves their fragile egos, not the reverse. The narcissist's self-image starts to fade without regular comments from others, which leaves them hollow and aimless. This brings us to a crucial point: the power you hold in your interactions with a narcissist. The truth is, the narcissist needs you considerably more, even if they try to make you feel as though you are the one who needs them. Their ego depends on your attention, reactions, and presence. When you decide to withdraw or establish limits, you disturb their supply of validation and force them to face the awkward truth of their own vulnerability. Though they would object, narcissists are quite sensitive to rejection. When they can't access your emotional energy, they face their greatest fear: self.